A smile would be
That's
nice,
the best
Diego.
maple syrup money can buy right
The
there.
next fight takes
Come
place
on.
in the welterweight division. Tarek Safedine versus Jake Ellenberger.
All right, third time is a charm. This fight has been booked and then booked over and over again, and there's always been reasons why it can't happen. Now, Jake Ellenberger's been a guy who struggled with consistency. He's gym hopped quite a bit, but now with the birth of his son Jamison, he really believes that having something to fight for, having a lot more long-term goals is going to bring the best out of him and bring forth the consistency I think that we've all been waiting to see out of this athlete.
First up on the scale, Jake Ellenberger. 170 for
This is the one guy that's always had the physical ability, and when the mental matches, Jake Ellenberger can be a difficult out for anyone in this division.
Welcome back, former Strikeforce welterweight champion Tarek Safedine. Wow, it has been a while since we saw this man inside the octagon. October 4th, 2014 to be exact. He has recently left Team Quest. He was a part of for 8 years. He now trains at the TriStar Gym, which is interesting because his last loss was to Rory McDonald. Now trains alongside Rory McDonald. I used to check in with Tarek Safedine almost every 2-3 weeks prior to UFC Tonight when I was gathering my nuggets. Hey man, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? Dealing with a horrible groin injury that just wouldn't get better. Finally, he's 100%. So happy to see him back fighting.
169 and 3/4 for Mr. Safedine.
I love the fit for him at TriStar. I think it's a great, and let's not forget, I mean, he's from Belgium. So he's comfortable around the French atmosphere. I think it's a great fit for him.
And really a guy who can make a difference in this division now that he's healthy. Hello again, folks. So, and then there were 8. The next 4 matchups will be seen tomorrow on Big Fox at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, beginning with a welterweight scrap between the blue chip prospect Super Sage Northcutt and Brian Barberina. Brian Stan, the late replacement Barberina, will weigh in first.
Yeah, the MMA lab student, I'll tell you, this kid is a tough guy. You know, I like the fact that they've agreed to make this fight at 170 pounds. Vice student at 155. I think we've done a lot of things that we're getting smarter in terms of the weight cut, in terms of the IV ban. I think all the athletes have responded better and they're doing it more professional and safer. And this is just going to be a better performance by both guys, but don't sleep on this kid. This kid is tough. A lot of people are counting him out just because of the height of Sage Northcutt. His last fight, he was losing in round 1 against Chad Lepre, really starting to come back and rebound late in the fight.
170. And his opponent, Sage Northcutt.
You want to talk about blue chip John Addick? This is the kid that sits in the gymnasium with the whole school watching what school he's going to pick. Sage Northcutt is as blue chip as it gets. He found him on looking for a fight. But since he's coming to the UFC, he's been nothing short of fabulous. Sage Northcutt, the guy that always talks about how nice you are. It's almost like the kid was born in the 60s and lives as though he was on the Andy Griffith show. But the other day, he showed a little attitude. He said, "You worried about my fight pay?
170 for Mr.
You're worried about my fight pay?
Wow.
Well, bring something to the table and the UFC will pay you accordingly." Sage Northcutt showing a little bit of something different, and I think that helps, and that's good for him.
And as you can see, he is not all about that cake and chicken, right?
Next we move to the bantamweight division. Yuri Alcantara versus Jimmy Rivera.
Another local guy fighting tomorrow night, Ramsey, New Jersey's own Jimmy Rivera, 18-1. He has won 17 fights in a row, and you can hear some of the crowd cheering for him, or maybe they were cheering for Sage Northcutt there, stealing all the applause. But Jimmy Rivera is a tremendous prospect. Brian, I know you in particular are very high on this man. Product of Tiger Schulman's, now lives in Brooklyn, but former Cage Fury Fighting Championship bantamweight champion, former Ring of Combat bantamweight champion. I am very excited to watch him fight in his 3rd UFC fight tomorrow.
Yeah, it took his time getting here. His game has been an evolution, but now he's really firing on all cylinders, and he came to the UFC when he was ready to fight anybody. Very often we see guys just come to the UFC when they're maybe ready to be here but not beat the best. This kid came, he's ready to take on anybody.
135.
You may remember he fought Dennis Bermudez on season 14
And
The
his
Ultimate Fighter.
opponent, Yuri Alcantara.
You know, there's so much can change in the world of mixed martial arts. It's incredible. You know, how many people remember when Yuri Alcantara made his debut in the WEC and knocked out Ricardo Lamas in the first round? Now you look at it, Alcantara has dropped down to 135 pounds. He's ranked number 14. Ricardo Lamas, however, stayed at 145, ranked at number 5 in the world, has fought for the title before. Two very different paths. So much can change in a short amount of time in this sport.
You know, Alcantara's had a lot of difficult matchups, perhaps this one more favorable. Jimmy Rivera might be willing, you know, to stand and trade with him. So good fight here. Feature bout on the main card tomorrow night. You can see it on Fox.
Yeah, Alcantara had a lot of momentum going until he dropped that fight to Frankie Saenz. He was the biggest favorite on the card, too, and Frankie Saenz just really fought the perfect fight against him. But he looked fabulous returning when he took on Leandro Issa in his last fight. Really put everything together well against a tough matchup stylistically in Leandro Issa.
135 and a quarter for Mr. Alcantara.
32 pro wins for the Brazilian. 19 of those wins have come in the first round. This guy's a finisher. Great feature on him on Road to the Octagon. Really like that.
Jimmy Rivera and Yuri Alcantara, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
The next fight takes place in the heavyweight division. Josh Barnett versus Ben Rockwell.
Now you folks at home can't see this, but DC is actually doing the Rockwell jig right up here on the stage right now.
That's the name of it.
There are a lot of great characters on this card, perhaps none better than Big Ben Rockwell. You know, it's funny, around 7 or 8 years ago, he actually fought in New Jersey. That was the last time he fought here. He won in less than 15 seconds via knockout against Krzysztof Soszyński. He is back, and he is streaking, and he wants a title shot. Do not make this man mad, John. You know that. Don't ask a follow-up to Big Ben.
265 for Big Ben.
Right at the limit. Right at the heavyweight limit.
And his opponent, the former UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Josh Barnett.
A lot of times the guy has a long career and they don't get better towards the end of it. I'm going to say, in Josh Barnett's last fight, I don't think he's ever looked better than he did against Roy Nelson. A lot of times we try to figure out Josh Barnett. I think Josh did it for us in his biography. When they ask guys, what does it mean to fight in the UFC? Everybody's talking about it's a dream. I'm so happy. Josh said, this is a return to a conquered kingdom, to once again and finally put the octagon under the reign of my iron fist. That is Josh Barnett in a statement. He's a ruler, a conqueror, and he wants to conquer Ben Rockwell tomorrow night.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of weird on the stage right now with these two guys.
I love it. A svelte Josh Barnett. Looks great once again.
Yeah, he does. He does. Oh, that's about as light as I've seen him in a long time.
He looked very good against Roy Nelson as well in Japan.
His speed was a real key for him against Roy Nelson.
And cardio.
I think it's the biggest attribute he has coming in this fight too, is going to be hand speed, diversity of strikes.
You talk about a people's main event. All right, guys, I am out. Good rest of the show. I'll be talking to those guys backstage.
And Josh Barnett. Now let's take a closer look at the two men involved in the main event of the evening.
Anthony Rumble Johnson versus Ryan Bader is a fight between the two top contenders in the UFC's talent-stacked light heavyweight division. Ryan Bader has never looked better.
Oh, nice elbow.
I love competing. There's something that I maybe have to prove to myself. I want to go out there and prove to everybody that I go 5 rounds hard and get the win, you know, because that's championship material.
I really want to fight Ryan Bader. He feels he deserves the next title shot.
but in my opinion, he hasn't beat anybody in the top 3 yet. So I definitely want to test him and see if he's ready.
For Anthony Rumble Johnson, the recipe for success is very simple. Step forward, throw bombs.
He goes down. Rumble flipped him again. He's in big trouble. Anthony Rumble Johnson.
In the Jimmy Manuwa fight, he put Manuwa away early and let everybody in the light heavyweight division know that he is still the most dangerous knockout artist in the world at 205 pounds.
I'm eager to get back out there and do what I need to do. Hopefully I can get back to the title.
You better be in shape because I'm coming hard the whole time. I'm going to use my footwork. I'm going to use my speed. I'm going to use everything that's gotten me to this point in this game, and I'm going to put it all together.
Just me knowing that he's going to bring it all makes me focus more, makes me want to do 10 times as much as he's doing.
I'm going to drag him into deep water and finish him.
Well, I'm definitely going to try and keep it standing. I know Bader's going to try and take me down.
I'm going to come in with a good game plan and do whatever it takes to get my hand raised.
I understand where he's coming from as far as getting a title shot, but I work my ass off too, and I'm going to keep pushing myself until I become a champion.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing the former winner of the Ultimate Fighter, Ryan Bader.
Tell you what, there's a lot of great athletic attributes for Ryan Bader, but let me add one other thing, and this falls more under character. Ryan Bader has donated over $80,000 to charity over the course of his UFC career. I believe that has to be a record. I've not heard of anybody doing better than that. Says a lot about what kind of man he is.
205 from Mr. Bader. And his opponent, Anthony Rumble Johnson.
As if on cue, when I see Rumble Johnson, I want to say that's a bad man right there. Rumble Johnson, a guy that can punch so hard, it transcends weight classes. He knocked me halfway across the octagon. He knocked Andrei Arlovsky across the octagon. That's a heavyweight. I'm a light heavyweight. In the last fight against Manuwa, he showed some wrinkles to his game, using his wrestling that he went to college to wrestle. Guys weighing in with his pants on right now. Rumble's showing that making weight is not an issue. He feels like this is the fight that puts him right back into title talk. If he can make a statement against Ryan Bader tomorrow night, this is a big task. As we get closer, more people are shifting in Ryan Bader's direction.